Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Faye, and this is how I keep myself accountable for my trip to Japan. Uh, as you can see, we have a new little thing going on. I saw a video on YouTube and thought, hey, let's just chuck these in because the subtitles in YouTube videos are often sketchy as hell, and these are a little bit better, mostly. Alright, today is day 80. Our fundages have not changed because we haven't been able to go shopping yet. We have 8,764 steps. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's good. I like it. And we have a bunch of new locations. I have not found a word for today. If we find one while we're going through, we might add it in. Sorry, I'm also still recovering from the sickness. So the first thing we have today is Tokyo Plaza Rooftop Ferris Wheel, which is there for the sheer fact of I don't know what TV company this logo is for, but it's definitely one. I feel like my daughter would both lose her shit and also lose her shit about this. She'd be so excited until the moment we got on and they closed the door and she couldn't get out. Because this is adorable. This looks like the most chibi of all Ferris wheels. However, my daughter's not coming with us, and if I'm going to go on a Ferris wheel, I'd rather go on a proper sized one. Next up is Ningyocho mechanical clock towers, which are uh, they're gear-based clock towers that are scattered around Tokyo. They have our wooden puppets. They are creepy as shit, and yeah, they are found in the downtown the downtown district of Ningyocho. I dislike the fact that this is going to be pointing out to me how often I mess up words. Uh, Apparently, you can only see these things at specific times, like it's a TV show essentially. But that's pretty dope. I kind of wish they had something like this for traffic lights as well. So instead of just being the flashing lights, you just flipped, and when there was a puppet standing there, you can walk. When there's not, you can't. Alternatively, put the puppet behind you, and that shit will make you run. Uh, I will happily check this out while we're there, actually. Like, it's not something that's going to be a full day kind of deal, so I'll happily have it. Next up is the Ribbon Chapel. It is. I actually really love that. It is a chapel that is made out of glass and a couple of pieces of solid metal. Mind you, there is also a path in between those two spirals of metal that are meant to symbolize marriage because it's two beings coming together and spiraling. Uh, that's a terrible way of putting it, but it kind of. But yeah, this is on the Inland Sea Resort, and I I don't like religion. If I was, if me and Mrs. Faye weren't already married and we were going to get married in Japan, this would be a dope place to do it. But still, no churches. Sorry, except for the traditional Buddhist ones, because here's Buddha's nostril. Apparently, if you can crawl your skinny ass through there, you'll become enlightened. Watch out though, if you have a skinny ass going through there, just remember that Buddha was also very thin before he became enlightened, and then he became like the rest of us. Uh, I would love to do this. I am never going to get skinny enough to be able to go through it because I have wide shoulders, I have wide hips. Those are two things that do not get through it. I also have a huge ass. Buddha's nostril, as dope as it would be, as funny as it would be to see me get stuck in there, not gonna happen. Next up is Yokai Yashiki, which is a yokai museum. And you might be able to tell by the sheer amount of yokai things that have been in this series. I love me some of these little spirits. Not all of them are good, not all of them are bad. Some have boobs out. I don't see a downside. But they are fun. Uh, I like the fact that there is a piece of an Australian media in it from '69, the best year. I think that for the sheer fact of an Aussie meteorite is in there, we also need to add ourselves some Yokai Museum. Now, for the part that would scare the crap out of my son, here's Bugland. Uh, there are some parts of Japan that are notorious for being able to find bugs, especially beetles, especially things like your stag and rhino beetles. That's why there are so many Pokemon based on them. There are so many other Japanese games because Pokemon was definitely not the first creature collecting game in Japan. These things have been going for ages. And I feel like there were definitely some kids before technology was advanced that battle beetles. And to be fair, there's worse things you can battle. They don't actually kill each other. They flip each other over. Whoever flips them over first wins. Sumo rules, essentially. But I like the fact they have like what looks like the slowest moving roller coaster ever, designed for kids and their parents. That's great. This is another one of those things where if I was going with my kids, as much as this would freak my son out, it'd be great. But going as just me and Mrs. Faye, I think we're going to skip this one. The last but not least is Hachikyo. Hachikyo is a special kind of diner, or special kind of restaurant, where you have to eat every last grain of rice, or you'll pay for it. What the entire thing is very aquatic based. So as they're coming around, putting the salmon roe onto your rice, they will sing sea shanties, and the best thing about sea shanties are that they're call and response. If you do not respond, you're going to get called out. So, this is actually a great idea. It I don't know how keen on doggy bags Japan is, but it seems like they wouldn't be if this is something they have. Because if you don't want to waste food, let people take it home with them. This is going the opposite way, where they're like, hey, if you're not going to eat all of this food and you're going to insult our cooking by not eating it all, we're going to make you pay. And as somebody that used to work in kitchens, I respect that. But that'll be it for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and how bad these have been or made me look. Sorry, don't mess up even more, please. We'll be back tomorrow with more of my weird and wonderful things I can find about Japan. Until then, I've been Faye, and you've been awesome. Bye now.